line? Hey everyone, welcome to Mike's Little Lookbacks. On this episode, we're going back to 1984 to explore a kids' musical series. This lookback was requested by viewer Emily Greene. Thanks, Emily. If there's a show you'd like to see me cover on here, mention it in the comments. This is my little lookback at Kids Incorporated. Kids Incorporated was a children's musical television program that ran in syndication from 1984 to 1986 and on the Disney Channel from 1986 to 1994. The series was created by Thomas W. Lynch and Gary Biller. Thomas would go on to become a very successful creator of tween television shows, including The Secret World of Alex Mack, The Journey of Alan Strange, Caitlin's Way, and Scout's Safari. Kids Incorporated was the first show created by Lynch and Biller, and was not immediately successful. A pilot for the series was shot in 1983 and shopped around, but it was not picked up by any major network. It did, however, succeed on getting distribution by MGM United Artists Entertainment Co. Television and began airing in syndication on September 1st, 1984. It's a show where kids will be singing covers of popular music, and I'm calling it Kids Incorporated. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. But have you considered kids in syndication instead? The series pilot had 4 cast members played by Jerry Sherrill, Renee Sands, Marta Marrero, aka Martika, and Stacey Ferguson. Stacey Ferguson? Why does that sound so familiar? So delicious. What the hell was that? Well, anyway, Stacey Ferguson. Seriously, what the f***? I can't think with all that racket. Ah well, whatever, she's probably nobody of relevance. A 5th cast member joined the show after the pilot was already filmed. Rasan Patterson would be known as the Kid. Additional scenes to introduce the character were filmed in 1984 and added to the pilot. In it, the Kid is new in town and too shy to audition for the band. Even though the pilot didn't air on television, it was released on home video in 1985 as Kids Incorporated: The Beginning. Throughout the entire run of the show, the cast would change quite frequently. Their ages ranged from about 8 to mid-teens, but they would be removed from the show when they would age out. Some characters would have their disappearances addressed on the show, while most would just vanish, like a kid on a milk carton. Do I have to explain that reference, or can I just assume that most people who are watching my videos are old enough to have actually seen a picture on a milk carton? I think we're fine. Other cast members throughout the run of the show included Moosey Dreyer, Ryan Lambert, Kenny Ford Jr., Sean O'Riordan, Richard Schaff, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Haley Johnson, Anastasia Horn, Devin Pewitt, as well as many others, including a plethora of backup dancers. Stacey Ferguson would hold the record for longest-running cast member with 6 seasons before her departure. A few cast members, including Jerry Sherrill, would leave after just 1 season. Sherrill's departure after season 1 was supposedly the result of him being unhappy with the show's bizarre storylines. Dude, you were on a show where a kid band performs at a kid's nightclub. Were you expecting Shakespeare? Ugh, this script. Another dream sequence? Can't we just get back to the realistic dance club populated by children? The plot revolved around the band called Kids Incorporated, made up of 5 to 6 cast members at any given time, performing at The Place, which was a former music club called The Palace, but the A burned out on the sign and it was never replaced. Wait, you're raking in dough from this successful band and presumably a 2 virgin drink minimum, and you can't replace a bulb? That's just poor management. Aside from band performances, the show would tackle various issues that would be affecting the band members, including crushes, peer pressure, jealousy, friendship, and child abuse. Oftentimes, additional music numbers would play out as a way to illustrate what the characters were feeling. As music was the biggest part of the show, how was it? Pretty damn good, as it turns out. The show featured covers of popular songs such as Message in a Bottle by The Police, Physical by Olivia Newton-John, Everybody Have Fun Tonight by Wang Chung, Livin' on a Prayer by Bon Jovi, Hip Hop Hooray by Naughty by Nature, Motown Philly by Boyz II Men, and hundreds of others. Due to the age of the performers and the show's target demographic, songs with objectionable lyrics would have them replaced with lyrics that were inoffensive, although on occasion, some songs of this type were performed as they were written. Examples of this would be Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol and Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson. All cast members performed their own vocals. However, since they were a band, they were also seen playing instruments on occasion. In those cases, they were pretending, as none of the cast knew how to play musical instruments, except for Haley Johnson in 1997, who could play the guitar. Additionally, some of the cast were trained dancers and would get to occasionally showcase those skills as well. The show also featured some pretty big guest stars, including Florence Henderson, David Hasselhoff, Billy Blanks, and Ruth Buzzy of Laugh-In fame. With all this talent and great music involved, I'm guessing the show was an instant success, with every network who passed on it being instantly regretful. In syndication, the show's airing times would depend on local television stations, which resulted in constantly shuffled time slots. This affected the show's ratings, and it was canceled May 25, 1986, though reruns continued to air on the CBN through the end of the year. Due to positive ratings of the reruns during the summer of 1986, the show was given a second chance when the Disney Channel bought the rights to the series. The show resumed production at Hollywood Center Studios with new episodes and began airing on the Disney Channel November 3, 1986. The show would run on the Disney Channel until the end of its sixth season in 1990, when it would go on hiatus for a year. During that time, most of the current cast aged out or moved on to other projects, and when the show resumed, only 2 cast members returned with it, Kenny Ford and Jennifer Love Hewitt. The show would air until 1993, when it would go on another hiatus after filming only 10 episodes of the 9th season. Budget cuts and the expiration of Disney's lease with MGM prompted the cancellation of the series. The last episode aired on January 9, 1994, but reruns would continue to air until May 30, 1996, making it the longest-running show in the Disney Channel's history. Now, I haven't seen this show since I was a kid, but I remember having a fondness for it. So now it's time to watch an episode and find out if it holds up, or if my enjoyment was just a fever dream. We're taking a look back at the Season 3 episode, Peter Pan. The episode begins with one of the greatest theme songs in the history of kids television, and as if that wasn't already enough to get me pumped, before we even get to the opening musical number, this appears on screen. What? We're gonna see a tiny A.C. Slater dancing his heart out? I can't wait! The episode proper begins with a cover of the Neutron Dance performed by Ryan Lambert and Rasan Patterson, and the girls singing backup while doing some choreography that involves a lot of jazz hands. I've always wondered when these little concerts are happening. I mean, there's never any parents with the kids when they're watching, so is this in the afternoon and in a world where no one has homework? Ever? And if so, younger me would have killed to live in this town.
Naturally.
After the song, we cut to the kids reading some of the classics, like great detective stories, rock and roll, comic book, and Peter Pan. Side note, comic book is my favorite comic book of all time, though I can never remember if it was published by Marvel or DC. Renee enters the room with some big news. Her mother is having another baby. The kids are way too excited about this news, especially Rasan.
That's terrific! Babies are the best.
Have you met babies? They're the worst. They're always crying and crapping and crying and crapping. Anyway, the only person not excited about the baby is baby Black Eyed Peas, who is the current baby of the family. Martika can tell that something is wrong and asks her what's up. Stacy says that she's gotten used to being the baby. Martika says that now she'll get to be something new, all grown up. Stacy says that she doesn't want to grow up, but Martika says that everyone has to grow up sometime, unless you're Peter Pan. Okay, so the episode is called Peter Pan, right? And we've seen Stacy reading Peter Pan and saying that she doesn't want to grow up, and now Martika has made another Peter Pan reference, so I wonder where this is going.
You're never gonna guess in a million billion years.
The kids hear the following sound from outside the room.
Arr! Arr!
Okay, I'll give you 3 guesses as to what that sound was supposed to be, and unless you've seen the episode, I guarantee you guessed wrong.
But it's cold, it's not fine.
Really, Riley? Couldn't even be bothered to do the "I'm so thick" voice. Okay. Anyway, Riley's there to tell the band that they need to get ready for their next concert number.
You guys aren't gonna be fine if you're late for your next concert number, come on.
Okay, but you don't have to be a meanie.
How was he being mean? He literally just gave you a reminder to get ready for the next number. I mean, maybe that's mean for Riley, though all I remember about Riley is that he's not the brightest bulb on the palace sign.
Just because you're not feeling well doesn't mean you have to act like Captain Hook.
Oh, I see. They had to say he was mean so that we could squeeze in another Peter Pan reference. Anyway, I'm guessing Stacy isn't needed for the next number because everyone else leaves to go perform and she just dives back into her Peter Pan book saying how she wishes she was Peter Pan. We transition to the band on stage performing their next number, and magically Stacy is on stage with them even though she was literally just reading her book. Probably ran out there at the last second. What a diva. Anyway, the band performs a cover of Move Away, and we get a glimpse of Mario Lopez on drums. As the song ends, Stacy begins hallucinating that she's Peter Pan.
Where are we? And how did we get here?
And why are we wearing these goofy clothes?
Wait, what? So, Stacy, let me get this straight. In your fantasy, you're Peter Pan, but the other members of the band are just the members of the band who were transported to Neverland from the stage and are now dressed like the Lost Boys. Why wouldn't they just be the Lost Boys? I don't want to tell anyone how to play make-believe, but you're doing it wrong.
Wrong!
Also, she's not Peter Pan, by the way. She's
Peter Pan with an M!
You realize that Pan is the surname, yeah? So you're still calling yourself Peter. Shouldn't you have changed it to Patty Pan or Penny Pan? Anyway, the kids don't believe that they're in Neverland at first, but after Stacy declares that in Never Neverland they can be Kids Incorporated forever, everyone seems to just go with it, and we transition to the kids all playing hide and seek until Riley starts coughing again? So does everyone have a cold now? Peter Pan says to run, and Captain Hook tells Smee to get them in what I guess is a pirate voice.
You'll not escape me this time, Peter Pan!
Also, I'm not going to say that the intro to this dance number was poorly choreographed, but Hook almost takes out Rasan trying to get to his mark. We then get what I assume is an original song for the show, Yo Ho Ho, featuring a very historically accurate pirate dance. Get it, Mario! You got f***ing robbed on Dancing with the Stars! Sorry. Anyway, as the song concludes, Peter and the band manage to drive off the pirates, but their celebration is short-lived, as apparently Stacy is the only one who wants to stay in Neverland.
We should all leave Never Neverland now. Leave? Never! No one ever leaves here.
The kids all give reasons why they want to go home. Rasan wants to be a superstar, Renee wants to become the first woman president, Ryan wants to go to college someday, and Martika wants to get her driver's license. Two of those ambitions are not like the others. Martika, Ryan, dream bigger, guys. Dream bigger. They all tell Peter that they want to grow up and that they want her to go with them. Stacy says that she needs time to think about it and that she'll let the others know when she's ready. This leads to a cover of the Phil Collins song, Take Me Home. Oh, I think I just found out what little Fergie is not good at. Lip syncing. As the song concludes, Stacy rejoins the others and says that it's time to go home, and we transition back to the stage where everyone was at the end of the Move Away cover. Backstage, Stacy's outlook on having a baby brother/sister has changed, and she's ready for someone else to be the baby so she can grow up. Ryan asks what changed her mind, and she says that it was their trip to Neverland. Everyone else is clearly confused, so Stacy tries to remind everyone of her delusion.
There she is now.
Wait, so we're going with the Peter Pan thing was real and not just a fantasy from the girl who was reading the Peter Pan book? Okay. Also, I'd like to point out just one weird little coincidence. The episode is from 1986, and while in Neverland, Stacy performs a cover of a Phil Collins song. Then, a mere 5 years later, in 1991, Phil Collins would have a brief cameo in the Peter Pan-inspired film Hook.
Of course, you know, it is entirely possible that this whole thing is some kind of ridiculous prank.
The episode ends with the kids performing a cover of Back in Time, the Huey Lewis song from Back to the Future, and features Ryan Lambert doing some pretty impressive fake guitar playing. While it's obvious the show had a low budget and it's easy for adult me to savagely pick apart the plot, I do think the show holds up as a solid bit of kids' entertainment. The singers do a great job with the song covers, the dancers do solid work with the choreography, and you can see why a lot of the cast would go on to bigger success in their adult careers. I just think it's a shame that the show isn't available on Disney+. I mean, one could maybe argue that it might be difficult to acquire the song rights to do that, but then again, it's not like Disney's hurting for money, so make it happen.
I'll let you know when I'm ready.
What are your thoughts on Kids Incorporated? Is it something you watched as a kid, or is this the first time you've heard of it? Would you ever consider opening a kids-only music club? And if so, would your drink menu contain all the big brands? Kool-Aid, Sunny D, Hawaiian Punch, High C? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if there is something from your childhood that you want to see me tackle on the show, mention it in the comments. Now, if you'll excuse me, these music numbers with choreo are killing me. Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna get it. Wait, what do you mean I should have aged out 30 years ago? Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and a share. It really goes a long way to helping out the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon to be notified when more Little Look Back episodes go up. Thanks, everyone.